A Category 2 cyclone is about to slam into Western Australia's coastline in the next few hours. And if you live anywhere between Carnarvon and Geraldton, what happens between 5 and 7 p.m. tonight could define your entire week. But here is the part most people are not talking about. There is a second system forming right now in the Coral Sea, and it could become a Category 2 or even Category 3 cyclone heading toward Queensland by next week. So which cities are in the firing line, and when exactly does the danger peak for your area? Stay with me, because at the 3-minute mark, I am going to show you the exact rainfall totals forecast for every major region, and some of these numbers are absolutely staggering. We are talking 200 to 300 millimetres in some areas. But first, let me walk you through what is happening right now, hour by hour, city by city, so you know exactly what to prepare for. Right now, as of Monday, the 9th of February 2026, Tropical Cyclone Mitchell is sitting just north of Carnarvon on the Western Australian coast. It is a Category 2 system. The eye is tight. The winds are ferocious. And here is the critical detail that changes everything. The storm has been tracking just slightly offshore for the past day. Now you might think, great, it is missing us. But actually the opposite is true. That tiny sliver of warm ocean between the cyclone and the coastline has been feeding Mitchell energy hour after hour. It has not weakened the way it would have if it had crossed onto dry land earlier. If the track had been just 50 kilometres further inland, this cyclone would already be falling apart. 50 kilometres. That is the margin between a dying storm and a full-strength Category 2 hitting your community at dinner time. That is why this system still has serious punch. So let us talk timing, because timing is everything with this system. If you are in Carnarvon or nearby communities, the centre of Cyclone Mitchell is expected to make its closest approach between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. tonight, Western Standard Time, give or take a couple of hours either side. That is your peak danger window. Before the centre arrives, you will notice the winds shifting. They will come from the northeast or east first. Then, once the system passes south of you, those winds are going to swing around to a more southerly direction. That wind shift is your signal that the core has moved past. Now, here is the part that catches people off guard every single time. The heaviest rain is not directly where the centre crosses. The heaviest rain band is sitting just offshore to the west of the cyclone S path. So coastal communities, even if the eye does not pass directly over you, you could still cop an absolute drenching. By Tuesday afternoon, so 24 hours from now, Carnarvon and the areas just to the south around Denham could see 150 millimetres of rain, 150 millimetres in 24 hours. Inland from Geraldton, we are looking at around 80 millimetres, possibly more, if a thunderstorm cell parks itself over your area. And the wet weather does not just stop there. It stretches all the way down a convergence line to the southern coastline of Western Australia. But do not switch off yet, because what happens next with Mitchell is actually going to affect South Australia and even parts of Victoria. And I will get to that in just a moment. By Tuesday afternoon, Cyclone Mitchell starts to lose its structure. The satellite imagery will show the system stretching out, elongating, losing that tight circular shape. It is crossing inland, and without the warm ocean to fuel it, the winds fall apart. Mitchell loses its tropical cyclone status. But here is the twist. The moisture from Mitchell does not just vanish, it gets dragged across the continent. By Wednesday, the leftovers of this system are sitting right over South Australia. It will not produce cyclone force winds, obviously, but what it does bring is heat and humidity. The top third, even the top 2/3 of South Australia will feel muggy and uncomfortable through the middle of the week. Now, if you are in Adelaide or the southern coast of South Australia, you get a different story. A new high-pressure system way off the west coast of Western Australia is going to push a southerly change your way. Cooler air, a polar change heading toward Tasmania by Wednesday night. So Adelaide, you get heat first, then relief. Tasmania, you are looking at a cold front arriving Wednesday afternoon on the west coast. Rain and showers with west to northwest winds that turn southwest by night time. Let me pause here, because this is the part I promised you. The detailed breakdown for every major region. Do not skip past this. Melbourne and Victoria, Thursday is your key day. A cold front pushes through, delivering a line of showers and possibly a few thunderstorms. But here is the honest truth. Rainfall totals for most of Western Victoria, think Geelong, Ballarat, Warrnambool, the Western districts, are below 5 millimetres. If you are desperate for rain west of Melbourne, you need a thunderstorm to park over your area, and that is pure luck. East of Melbourne is a different story. The Gippsland region, the Yarra Ranges, the Dandenong Ranges, these areas could see 5 to 10 millimetres. And in the mountainous zones, 10 to 15 millimetres is possible. Not drought-breaking, but something. By the weekend, Victoria looks mostly dry. There may be a stray coastal shower along the Gippsland coast, but the easterly winds will dry things out quickly, even if a shower does pass through. Sydney and New South Wales. Wednesday is your hot day. The heat from the remnants of Cyclone Mitchell pushes right across New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory. Western Sydney will cop it the worst. Think Penrith, Richmond, Campbelltown, those western suburbs that always bear the brunt. Coastal areas will get some sea breeze relief, but it will still be uncomfortably warm. Then Thursday, that same cold front brings showers and thunderstorms with similar totals to what Victoria gets, 5 to 10 millimetres in most areas, slightly more in the Blue Mountains and the Ranges. But the real action for New South Wales comes Friday, and this is where it gets serious. A squeeze zone forms between low pressure over Queensland and high pressure off the New South Wales coast. Northeasterly winds converge. The eastern coastline just south of Brisbane down through the northern rivers and into the ranges could see 100 millimetres of rain on Friday alone. 100 millimetres. That water is going to flow into streams and rivers. If you live in a flood-prone area anywhere from the northern rivers down to around Port Macquarie, Friday is the day to have your plan ready. Brisbane and Queensland. This is the region I need everyone to pay very close attention to. Queensland is about to enter a week of escalating, compounding weather activity. And when I say compounding, I mean the rain does not just come once and leave. It hits the same areas day after day. Monday and Tuesday are relatively quiet, enjoy that. But from Wednesday onward, low pressure systems start clustering around Queensland. Thunderstorms fire up day after day in roughly the same areas. And here is why that matters so much. When thunderstorms keep hitting the same catchments day after day, the ground saturates. It cannot absorb any more water. Every new drop that falls runs off into creeks, streams and rivers. That is when flash flooding occurs, not from one massive storm, but from the cumulative effect of multiple storms on already soaked ground. Inland parts of Queensland could see 150 millimetres in just 24 hours by the weekend. Some elevated areas between Port Macquarie and Brisbane and inland through the ranges toward places like Warwick, Toowoomba and the Darling Downs. The 7-day rainfall totals could reach 200 to 300 millimetres. Those are serious numbers. Those are the kind of totals that fill dams but also cause landslips, road closures and river flooding. But Queensland, do not stop reading here because the biggest concern has not even made landfall yet. Now here comes the plot twist I mentioned at the start. There is a system developing in the Coral Sea near the Solomon Sea that weather models have been flagging for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. That is unusually persistent in the modelling. Most phantom systems appear once or twice and then vanish. They are noise, not signal. But this one keeps showing up day after day, model run after model run. The European model sees it. The American model sees it. The Australian models see it. When multiple independent models agree at long range, forecasters start paying very serious attention. And when you zoom into the latest charts, what you see looks unmistakably like a tropical cyclone, a well-organised circular low-pressure system with tight isobars. The models are suggesting it could reach Category 2, possibly even Category 3 intensity. Category 3 means a severe tropical cyclone with destructive winds and storm surge potential. Now, I want to be very clear here. I am not trying to scare anyone. The tracking is still uncertain. At this stage, the most likely path takes it southeast, out to sea, away from the Queensland coast. But there is high pressure sitting to the south, and if that high shifts position even slightly, it could redirect this system closer to the coast. That is the scenario we are watching. That is the wild card for next week. So what should you do if you are in Queensland? Simple. Do not panic, but do stay informed. Check the Bureau of Meteorology updates daily. If this system is still showing up in tomorrow's model runs, that will make it 5 or 6 consecutive days of consistent modelling. That is significant. If it disappears from the models, we can relax a little. But if it persists, Queensland needs to start thinking about preparation. Now, let me give you the full picture for the weekend. South Australia, Saturday and Sunday look completely dry. No rain expected at all. Victoria, mostly dry. A possible coastal shower, but nothing significant. The easterly wind flow keeps things settled. Tasmania, you are sitting between 2 high pressure zones with a small area of low pressure nearby. You probably will not even notice it. The only sign will be the winds changing direction by Sunday. Variable winds, nothing dramatic. Western Australia, after Cyclone Mitchell passes, the northwest and Kimberley region continue to see thundery showers through the weekend. That is normal wet season activity for the tropics. New South Wales, some coastal cloud drifting in from the Tasman Sea, fading out south of Sydney. A few showers around, but most of the heavy action is further north. Queensland, the main game. Thunderstorms and heavy rain persist inland. Flash flooding risk remains elevated through the weekend. Now, there is one more thing I want to address because I know a lot of you are frustrated. If you are in Adelaide, Western Victoria, Tasmania or Western New South Wales, you have probably noticed a pattern. Every time a weather system comes through, the rain seems to miss you. The totals are tiny. 2 millimetres here, 4 millimetres there. And you are right to be frustrated. The honest assessment is that this week S setup does not deliver significant rain to those areas. It is not zero, but it is not the kind of rain that fills dams or breaks dry spells. The heavy rain is concentrated on the eastern seaboard, the ranges and Queensland. That is where the moisture is being channeled. But weather patterns do shift, and when they do, they can shift dramatically. So keep watching. Now let me quickly recap the critical timing for each major area one more time because this is information you need to have locked in. Carnarvon and the mid-west coast of Western Australia, peak cyclone impact tonight between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m, easing through Tuesday. Geraldton and inland Western Australia, heavy rain and thunderstorms Monday night into Tuesday, 80 plus millimetres possible. Southern Western Australia, rain extending down the convergence line through Tuesday. Adelaide and South Australia, heat and humidity midweek from Mitchell's remnants. Then a southerly change late Wednesday. Melbourne and Victoria, cold front and showers Thursday, drier by the weekend. Best rain chances east of Melbourne. Canberra and the Australian Capital Territory, hot Wednesday, showers Thursday. Sydney and New South Wales, hot Wednesday, showers Thursday. Heavier rain Friday, especially on the northern coast and ranges. Brisbane and southeast Queensland, thunderstorms building from Wednesday, heavy rain Friday and through the weekend. Flash flooding risk. Inland Queensland, persistent thunderstorms midweek through the weekend, 150 millimetres possible in 24 hours. Far north Queensland and the top end, typical wet season showers, nothing out of the ordinary right now, but that Coral Sea system needs watching. Tasmania, cold front Wednesday night, then settled conditions through the weekend. So there you have it. 2 systems to watch this week. Cyclone Mitchell hitting Western Australia right now and a potential new cyclone forming in the Coral Sea that could threaten Queensland next week. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me where you are watching from. Your city, your town, your region. We read every single comment and we will do our best to give you a localized update in tomorrow's video. The more specific you are, the better we can help. And speaking of tomorrow, make sure you come back for Tuesday's update because that is when we will know 2 critical things. First, how much damage Cyclone Mitchell actually delivered overnight and whether the rainfall totals matched or exceeded the forecasts. And second, whether that Coral Sea system is still showing up in the models. If it is, that changes the entire outlook for Queensland and possibly northern New South Wales for the following week. You do not want to miss that update. Hit subscribe if you have not already and and turn on the notification bell so you get alerted the moment the new video drops. Share this with anyone you know in the affected areas, because getting the right information at the right time can make all the difference. I will see you right here, same time Tuesday. Stay safe out there tonight, especially